What's good?
What's going on, everybody? What's power?
Yeah. Sorry for the slight delay. Apologies. We were actually finishing off the pod episode. But as you can see, this is part 2 of our fear discussion. Just as a little preliminary thing concerning that, what we're going to be talking about today, what we're mainly going to be discussing today is literally, we talked about the aspects of fear. We talked about the things that can bring about fear, where it comes from, yada, yada, blah, blah. Today is about solutions. Today is about techniques, skills, things that you guys have developed and that we have come up with on how to not only combat, but also how to deal with fear. Like, even if it means accepting fear for what it is and understanding what place to put it in, that is another part of it.
Right.
And that's absolutely something that we want to tackle today. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Y'all already know what it is. You're going to get the main discussion started in about 10 minutes or so. Give y'all some time to get your popcorn, get your drinks, get situated.
Yes, sir.
But part 1, like NeRo said, was more so us sharing our fears, what we felt about fear, general thoughts and what. But we want to give y'all something to really go home with, some homework, if you will.
Right.
So tonight, more so what we're talking about is, how do you cope with fear?
Yeah.
You know, what are some tips that you recommend that people can utilize in their arsenal to overcome fear, and in the situations in which it's from doing,
right,
it holds us, days us down,
because it will. And that's the whole thing about it, is that fear is something that I personally have, what I've come to believe is that it has its place.
For sure.
It exists for a reason. You can't be so scared of things that it messes you up, but at the same time, you can't sit there and walk around like you ain't scared of nothing, because that's not realistic. It's not wise. It will put you potentially in situations that can very serious. Fear isn't necessary, like most emotions, but also, like most emotions, it belongs within a space.
Correct.
If you do not identify where it belongs and where it needs to be and where it's supposed to be, you will have issues. Because in so many ways, identifying and understanding what a thing is almost more important than the thing itself, even dealing with it and facing it. Yes, Javar said it can save your life depending on the situation. Yes, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you have to identify the context within where a fear is occurring or where something is coming upon you. Because if it's coming from a realistic space where, yes, you should legitimately feel fearful about this thing, right? Or about whatever it is. If it's a legitimate fear, okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being afraid of something. It is how you approach what it is you are afraid of, what it is you're worried about.
I agree. Shout out to those of y'all who are in here. If you are on the stream right now, please like, comment, share, or subscribe. Push this out to more people so we can get people to tune in with us, joining in the discussions. We love the interactions.
We appreciate it. We live for this.
I want to read this comment from Magic System. It says, in fight or flight or freeze or fawn mode from CPTSD, I try to use my head in most things. And that's first and foremost, good luck to you.
Absolutely.
Keep on. Absolutely. With the keep on. You got to remain strong. Strength is underrated when it comes to fear.
Yes.
The reason why we gotta use our head in most things, or we ought to orient ourselves in that way, is because we know we're humans, and while we are feeling creatures, we do also have to contend with the reality of life as it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes yes, it can be a hard pill to swallow, but you know what? It's only a hard pill to swallow when you don't feel you need to take it.
Yeah.
So we had to get out of that mindset of, I'm simply afraid, or whatever feeling we have,
Yeah.
and let that just be who we are. Like, we have to take the feeling itself and not let it define who we are. That's another way that we can work on controlling that.
Yeah.
Too often times people let the thing become who they are. And so sometimes it can feel like you are disabled, you're paralyzed to do anything,
Right.
because it's what started off as just how you felt about something. It became what you see reality to be. It became who you were. And we lose every time we do that.
Yeah. Every single time. Because fear is not always something that you can see. That's the problem. You're dealing with an unseen enemy. And what does it always say? You have to know your enemy before you combat it.
Yes, sir. You sure do.
And the way you combat a lot of things is by understanding it, by contextualizing it, and what I call it, just putting it in its place. You put it in its place.
There you go.
You let it know, hey, look, and it's gonna sound, it's gonna sound more spiritual. Look, y'all gotta forgive me. I was raised in church. This is how we talk. If you gotta talk to your fear and be like, hey, look, this is where you belong. This is where you stay.
Mm.
You don't go any further than that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to logic some things out. You have to. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you do risk destroying yourself over something that you could have dealt with. And I know some people have issues with that, where it's like, well, you just don't understand. You just don't get. No, we get it. We get it.
Yeah, we're all humans.
We're
so
saying it. Honestly, we're saying it because we get it.
It is a misconception to assume that most of the things you went through, no one else has.
Right.
Remember, it's billions of people on this earth, and a decent amount of that population is on this continent.
Right.
Chances are, not only have you dealt with people who've come from similar situations, you've dealt with people who came from worse.
Yes.
And that's an easy way of how to humble yourself when it comes to your own problems, because sometimes we get so self-absorbed by what it is we're dealing with.
Yes.
We act as if we're the only person to ever have dealt with it,
and we have been through it.
Yeah, and our understanding is the only understanding that is to make sense. And if no one else agrees or enables that to be the truth or reality, that they're insensitive, they don't care, they don't know what they're talking about, they just don't understand.
Yeah. And that's what you're gonna get. In most cases, you get you don't, and I know it happens with a lot of my coworkers that are that are therapists. You don't know me, you don't know what I'm talking, you don't know what I do or what I've been through or blah blah blah. Like, it's like, yeah, but maybe I'm trying to get to know you, maybe I'm trying to understand. And in those situations, when you are dealing with somebody, or you are the person being dealt with in a fear situation, you have to let people know where you are, where you stand, what's going on. Right. Because no one can help you if you allow yourself to stay in a posture, in a position that forces control, or rather relinquishes and surrenders control of your life to fear.
Agreed. Sometimes you have to question how you feel about things. In the culture, we have a phrase. We've been using it for a long time now, at least as long as I've been alive.
Right.
And it's a phrase we often say a lot, and especially in the Black community, it's as simple as you tripping.
Yeah.
We all know what that means when somebody say you tripping.
Man, and people hate that.
In simple layman's terms, it means that however you reacting
Right.
is not appropriate for what is going on.
Right.
We all have a general understanding of what that means. Now, I get it. In this day and age where we like to view ourselves as, or some of us do, as more woke and understanding, the term gaslighting has become prevalent. And not to take away from real accounts of what that is.
Right.
There still remains, and there always will still remain, more often than not, situations where you are, in fact, tripping.
Yeah.
And one of the easiest ways to kind of wrangle yourself together and get some self-control,
right,
so you're not mislabeling something as gaslighting that's really you just fucking tripping.
And somebody just telling you to get it together.
Yeah, and somebody just trying to help you get you together.
Right.
Is rationalizing why you feel how you feel.
Right.
Understanding and breaking down the conclusions that you came to that have led to you deciding that the emotion is this because of what. You have to do that.
Yeah, you do.
Because if you don't do it,
somebody will do it
somebody will do it for you.
Or
and you're going to hate it when someone else does it for you. God be damn, somebody question whatever fears you may have and the emotions you expressing because of it.
Right.
But at least, at the very least, you have to do that work. You have to say, okay, I'm mad. Yeah. But why am I mad? You have to do that. You can't just be mad
and not even understand why you're mad.
Yeah, and not understand the why. You can't do that.
No.
Because you run into a slippery slope where your actions and your energy don't make sense.
It's an unhealthy behavior.
Yes. And people will look at you like you're crazy.
Yep.
Like you're tripping.
Yep.
Like you're being unreasonable.
Right.
Or irrational. And it matters because there are some obvious and objective truths in reality that do not give a damn about your feelings.
Nope.
Feelings deserve a place in the world. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
And anybody know me, I'm like the biggest challenger of feelings in general. But
yeah,
I say that to say this though. And people don't like it though. But this is some real shit here.
You be trying to crush people's souls, bro. That's why people don't like
there's a time and a place for feelings too.
Yes.
Because you also got to remember, when your feelings come into a situation, if you interacting with another human, so does theirs.
Yes.
And at that point, it's going to be a matter of whether people like it or not. Not only what makes the most sense, but what is conducive to keeping the situation together amongst two individuals. That's where understanding and compromise comes into play.
Right.
Now, you might be wondering what this got to do with fear. Everything. Why?
Absolutely.
Because most of our emotions are driven by an overarching emotion or feeling of fear.
Yes.
Yes. Whether that be worry, whether that be doubt, mistrust, angst, anxiety. They are all under a big ass umbrella.
Yep. And Magic System said, I spent a lot of time to work on myself. And that's just the part you have to resolve yourself to, is that it is not a quick process.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just not. Like there's nothing that, and I'm like this with my clients. I don't ever try to lie to them and be like, oh, you're just gonna make it. No, you may not.
And you can't do that.
Or worse yet, you on your journey that you're currently on the journey you're on, there is going to be some times where you triumph greatly, and then there's other times where you will fall flat. And the triumphs are great. You have to appreciate yourself for those. But it's when you fall flat that hits the worst, because those are the ones that you have to combat with. You have to kind of bring yourself to task. What's good, Keontae? You have to bring yourself to task and be like, all right, how do I manage to deal with this? Yes, I have failed. I have made a mistake. I've screwed up. Okay, where do I go from here?
Yeah, and just like I'm highlighting this comment that you read earlier from Javar about fear can save your life depending on the situation.
Yeah.
That's where some of the rationality comes in at, right?
Right.
Why? Magic System says, oops, got me on anxiety though. Let me tell you something, Magic System. Let me hit you with one. We live in such a complex yet simple world, depending on how you look at certain things.
Right.
But I tend to think that most things are simple, and as humans being complicated individuals, organisms, we complicate things. And
Very true. Very true.
With that being said, I have a fair bit of understanding when it comes to the realms of anxiety, to the point that I have had to go through so many mental changes personally, just to make it to this point. And by this point, I mean alive. Okay. There's so much that comes with this experience that we all get to have, and that we're all having right now, those of us who are living. Anxiety is one of those things, those feelings as humans.
Absolutely.
Depression's another one. Sadness is another one. Thoughts of action even come with that too, right? And I ain't even gonna go no further than that, but I'll say that to say it takes time. Like NeRo said earlier, it takes time, and it takes understanding, not just from other people that interact with you, but first you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because there'll come a point in time, if it already hasn't happened, where you've had to explain yourself. I can't think of how many times I've had to explain, not because people didn't get it,
right,
but just for the sake of the clarity being there regardless.
Right.
There have been plenty of times where I've had to explain, whether it be the same person or a new person come into my life,
right,
why I am the way I am about certain things.
Yeah, it just comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory. And sometimes if you suffer from a particular thing, you may find yourself explaining that thing more often to people. That's a fear in and of itself. You got to get to the point where you're comfortable, because there's plenty of us who aren't explaining that part of it, because a lot of people don't know what's going on with you. And even if they may be going through something similar,
there's no guarantee that they understand.
Right? And there's no guarantee that they even, with the understanding part,
right,
there's no guarantee that just because they're going through it too, that they see it in you.
Yeah.
Sometimes two people can be going through the same thing, but because they handle it differently, they don't even know that they're suffering from the same thing.
Yes, I can agree with that.
Bruh, that's like the back of my head heating up type ish.
It's mind-boggling.
Two people can be going through the same type of situation, or have the same even mental condition,
right?
And how they will deal with it could be marginally different.
Yes,
that's why we have functioning people, non-functional people, and that's why we have a spectrum of where people line up on that.
Yeah.
See, me, it's a lot easier for me to have conversations about anxiety, because I can talk about it from a non-medicated perspective, and I can talk about it from a medicated perspective, as an individual, as a person,
right,
who has taken, not as a doctor or anything like that. I'm none of that. But I get it.
Yeah.
First, you got to be willing to tell people that that's what it is. First, you got to be comfortable enough to even have that conversation.
Because that's a hard conversation by itself.
Right. And so many people ain't even there yet. Right. They still lying to themselves.
Yeah.
They still telling other people it's other stuff. It's still nothing. All of these things are under the umbrella of fear. They are fear. These are fears, offsprings, siblings,
Yeah. They're all
descendants,
byproducts.
they're all byproducts.
Yeah.
And it's important that you understand where you align at, because most of us do have a fear or some, and most of them, when you study them, they have a lot of correlation with each other. And that will be the precursor to how you find out which one you suffer from.
Yes.
So before you even get to the doctor part, right?
Right.
For you to have some clue that you suffer from anxiety, for example,
Right.
you would have had to have experiences or been in situations where you reacted a certain type of way. And you might have noticed a consistency of that same reaction and behavior.
Right.
That's you doing the self-assessment and having a self-awareness to understand that part.
Yeah.
Then hopefully you're able to go to a doctor, physician, or whatever, and get the real lowdown. Because plenty of people get misdiagnosed. Plenty of people know they suffer from something, but may not have the real understanding of what it actually is.
Right.
I want to read this comment from Keontae. For me, my fear is that I'll never succeed. I always fall short, only ever talking about it, but never being enough, but never enough action.
That's a rough one.
That's kind of similar to NeRo's fear of failure.
Yeah.
You know, and
we in the same boat with that.
But you know what though? I think it's the second part of that, Keontae, that really brings it all home. Only ever talking about it, but never enough action. So maybe there could also be a level of not even necessarily failure, but inadequacy.
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
Just maybe.
If you're doing more action and less talking, there'd be a greater chance that not only would you succeed, but because you would succeed, there'd be far less likely the chance that you would even have that fear.
Right.
And since we know you miss 100% of the shots you take,
well, that you don't take,
if you're doing the actions, you're gonna get some results. If they're unfavorable results, you might categorize them as fear.
Right.
But if you keep doing what you're doing, eventually you will succeed.
Yeah.
Because part of that doing is knowledge and understanding and gaining information, right?
Right.
It's like the difference between a mistake and learning from it, right? It's the same system setup. You know, you put your hand on the stove and it's hot, you burn your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mistake.
You understand, okay, we can't do that no more.
You understand that it's painful if you do that. And if you don't want to feel that pain because you fear that pain, you ain't going to do it again.
You ain't going to take that L twice.
And by you not touching the stove, you are succeeding in doing what? Not burning yourself. So, you know, we really got to break these things down and write them down on a piece of paper. I implore y'all, write them down on a piece of paper, put them somewhere where you can really look at these things. Don't just keep it in your mind. Your mind is very faulty. I'm telling you that right now. There's science behind it. Your mind is very faulty.
Your mind will trick you.
As Obi-Wan once said, beware of your thoughts. They deceive you. Look.
That's a good quotable.
Yes, fear of failure. It causes a paralysis. I have to be perfect, and it stops me from taking the action that others will see and then I go nowhere. I'm working on it though. Yeah. And you know what? Look into your morals and values. Because what I'm hearing is, like I said, you just said you have to be perfect. I just brought up inadequacy, which would basically be the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but basically feeling like you're not good enough. Because the opposite of that would be the perfection, right?
Yes.
So it plays into that.
Inadequacy.
Yeah. It's crazy because you have enough sense and logic to know that you will fail at things.
Right.
So it isn't necessarily as much the failure of failure, but more so
the understanding of what it is.
The understanding of basically that you will be inadequate in the ways in which you truly care about. So now we talking about values. What is the things that you value?
Okay.
Because this is where you're going to have to go next. You're going to have to investigate the things that you value and correlate that with what you're saying this fear is.
Right.
Because somewhere lies the true disconnect of what's really going on here. You know failure will happen. So it's not that you fear failure. You fear inadequacy. But specifically, you fear inadequacy in a specific area of your life.
Right.
Because I'm sure there's things that you've had successes, you've succeeded in doing things, you've had accomplishments.
Right. You're alive. So
but maybe there's certain
there.
accomplishments that you hold higher than others. Maybe if it was those things,
it would be better.
It would be better if you were to achieve them. Because you also understand that you can't be perfect.
Yeah.
But you would like those outcomes from those things you care about.
Yeah, because there are certain things that you personally are like, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes
this
we
is
say
what I want.
That's what I mean. Because sometimes we say we fear something, right?
Right.
And in general, it could be something like failure. But really, when we get to the nitty-gritty, the specifics, it's not that we fear failure. Maybe the fear is that I won't be a good dad.
Yeah.
That could be a form of failure to us, right?
It's a valid fear.
Right? But the fear isn't necessarily failure in the general sense, but failure in a specific area. And so in order to improve, you would have to be doing better in that particular area. So if I fear that I'm not going to be the best dad, then it may behoove me to try to be the best dad, right? Right. Maybe I can do more. Maybe I can do more fatherly things. Maybe I can, study. Maybe I can get more nitty-gritty, right? What particular areas of fatherhood? Do I spend enough time with my child?
Right. Do you try to understand your child? Do you try to
do I interact with my child?
Right.
I give my child the things that they need?
Right. Magic System said, I'm just afraid of being stuck here in this state and I have agoraphobia with panic disorder. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. And yeah, I mean,
when you say here in this state, are you talking
like
about
a state of being?
Are you talking about a state of being, or are you talking about state of wherever you live?
Right.
Which I'm assuming is Indiana?
Yeah, I'm believing so.
When you say state, yeah, be more specific, because I'm curious about that, Magic Systems.
We don't want to make assumptions.
Right. And maybe we can help, because this episode is about, coping mechanisms, solutions,
all that,
how we manage, and ways to tackle that. I'm always a big proponent, and I don't like to get into the spiritual woo-woo, I call it.
Not the woo-woo.
Of self-awareness. This ain't that. Look, gone are the whole third eye, this penile. We don't even have to do all of that. You need to take some time and study yourself.
Yes.
If you don't know something about you, or you don't understand something about you, and you're not in a position to get professional help,
it's time to figure it out.
It's time for you to do something. Either you do it and you get that professional help from somebody else, or just really start to study you. Write things down. Like, do people still brainstorm? I'm weird like that, where, I'm the type of person, they call it crazy, but I don't care. I'm the type of person, I speak out loud. I talk to myself. I do all of that. I'm always trying to figure something out.
Right.
I'm always trying to figure something out.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with not understanding something about yourself.
Right. Asking
the question is the first step.
That and just having a personal understanding of yourself is just necessary. So it's necessary.
She said, Magic System said, state I live. Yes, it is in Indiana.
Okay. Like, realistically though, you have to understand yourself. If you don't, you're already not necessarily doomed to failure, but you're on the way.
I recommend, for those who have jobs, and even if you don't, but especially for those who have jobs, most employers offer what's called EAP, or EAPs.
You were talking about that
Employee
earlier.
assistance programs, yes.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they're literally free services. When you go on your onboardings and stuff and training for these jobs, somewhere, if you don't hear it, you will see it. And you'll see it before you hear it. Because it's one of those things that I can honestly say I haven't really heard people verbally talk about.
Okay.
But I know they exist. I can think of many times where I came across employee assistance programs. These are free resources,
right,
for you as an employee for whatever company you work for that assist in a multitude of things, but typically advice, decision making, finances, mental health. These are some of the core elements that most of these programs try to aim at.
Yeah.
For the most part, they're either free or reduced services for those in need. Because, just like everybody else, you need help too.
Yeah.
And if you work in a place where they offer employee assistance programs, if you're not sure, ask your HR person.
Right. Somebody knows.
Then you need to check into that. You'd be surprised with free resources out there that you're not taking advantage of, especially when it comes to take care of you.
Right.
Because you got to take care of you.
It's the thing, the way you have to look at it is you have to look at it like, and this is what I do. I look at things as if they are requirements. I try not to give myself like the allowance to be like, well, yeah, you don't have to do that. No, it's necessary. It has to be done.
I like that.
It has to be done, because if it's not done, we're right back to square one and we're never going to get out of it.
Magic systems. You don't have to answer this in the comments, but this is something I want to propose to you. You said the state you live in is in Indiana and that you're afraid of being stuck here in this state. What I want you to think about, and like I said, you don't have to answer this in the comments, but I want you to think, what is it that you can do to make any ounce of difference in that? What are you capable of doing that is within your control that could have any effect? I'm not even looking for like a change overnight thing, because nothing happens overnight.
Right.
But if you can go from 0 to 1%, what does that look like for you in terms of accomplishing something like that? If the fear is being stuck here, what is one thing that you could do that could at least give you 1% or more of a difference in making that fear go away? I want you to think about that.
I like how you put that.
Even better,
1% or more.
Write it down. And once you write that one thing down, see if you can think about something that pushes you to 2% or another percent forward.
And so on and so forth.
And so on and so forth. And you keep repeating that. But write it down, put it out on paper, because sometimes these fears, as we know, they have feelings, right? Feelings is like the ingredients of fear. Bar. Ooh, bar.
Feelings are the ingredients of fear. That's a quotable. That's a quotable.
Write this down.
He's been on one like
brainstorm. Oh boy. I have brainstorm. Yeah. I want y'all to think. And everybody listening, y'all can take the same questions and stuff I just asked Magic Systems. I might even try and put it in here for y'all and apply it to your own self. Because we got to attack these things, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
The reason why we got to attack these things is because, once again, step outside yourself for a second. Let somebody else tell you this that you care about.
Yeah.
With the understanding that they're telling you for advice. Because most of the times when we share this information with other people, we're typically looking for advice.
Yeah.
Whether they be experts or not, we want to try and find a way to figure out whatever it is.
Yeah, we want the answer.
So think about if you're not the person going through whatever it is you fear. How would you advise them in a way that would be meaningful to the progression of them alleviating that fear or removing that stressor from their life? How would you advise them of what they need to do or could do to make a difference? That's how you got to think about it. Yeah. Take yourself out of the equation real quick. If somebody else came up to you
and they just presented you with this,
knowing everything that they know, Because if you're taking yourself out of the situation and it's hypothetical, well, you already know what type of points they would come up with because in reality, it's you.
Right.
You know, you almost got a good cop, bad cop yourself.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You know, and really ask yourself the hard questions. And the beauty in doing that, here's an even better suggestion. Do it in front of a mirror. Do it in front of a mirror. Because the beauty that'll come with it is that you don't have to deal with no judgment from anybody else. If judgment is one of those things that you worry about and that prevents you from sharing these things and really digging into the deep depths of the truth about why these things hold you down,
right?
Talk to yourself in the mirror. Say, self.
Huh?
Right. Why do you feel this way?
I always do that. I gotta chill. And that's realistic. Again, you have to be realistic with yourself about what bothers you.
Yeah. And the beauty in doing it by yourself is, look, ain't nobody else around to judge you.
No. You are your own judge in this case.
Javar said, yes, telling you, I have to cuss myself out sometimes. Exactly.
Right. I feel like, look, we've all had our own moments of communion with ourselves where you got to be like, hey, get it together. What are you doing?
What's the call? We got a term for that. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Check yourself. Because some of y'all got a problem with being checked by other people. That's cool.
True. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's happened to the best of us. Sometimes it's situational. Some of us are just like that because that's how we are.
Yeah, some folks just don't like that.
Then check yourself.
Do what's necessary to get yourself regulated.
Yeah, get on you. Get on your case. Question it. Question why and feel the way you do about the shit that you do.
That and beyond that, if you can't get on your own case, who the hell's going to do it?
Yeah, at that point, if you can't get on your own case
and you don't want to talk to nobody else,
and you don't want to talk to nobody else,
who's gonna do it? I mean, who's left?
At that point, you're on a path. You're on a path of self-destruction.
Right.
At that point.
Right.
And at least if you're not gonna take it from an average Joe,
right,
and you don't think you're capable of doing it, because maybe you lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe you're one of those type of people.
Self-delusions. Yeah.
Right. Maybe you're delusional. Get help. Get a therapist. Y'all, the people that came before us had to pay so much more and had to go through so much more for this shit.
True.
Therapy in this day and age is a lot more accessible than it ever used to be.
And it's a lot better respected that you're getting it.
Yeah. Society judges you a lot less. And you can't, and you know, in society's defense, a lot of this stuff used to be considered, especially in like, if we go back 1900, a lot of this stuff, because people were still, science was still developing, people were still trying to understand. A lot of this stuff was still considered, you know, heresy, witchcraft,
yeah,
you know, abominations and all that other kind of stuff.
Right.
We live in a day and age where we're far removed from that. Dementia used to be some demonic shit at one point in time in the world.
Boy, yeah.
These days, a lot more understood. Even if there isn't like a necessary cure to it, a lot more understood what's going on with the human psyche today than what it used to be.
Yeah.
They used to cut off heads, axe folks for not being all the way right.
It used to get all the way bad.
It used to get really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, they got discount programs for the shit.
Right.
Like this is like the difference of the 25-cent bag going to $1.
Right.
It ain't the same no more.
No.
Still the same product, but it ain't the same no more.
No. And the biggest thing about it is, especially with people who have children and things like that, they want you to get yourself together. You know, the first thing they want is for you to be mentally stable, for you to be good enough to, you know, make things make sense, make it work. Like, you can't be out here tripping. You can't be out here tripping, period. Like, there's no reason to be out here looking crazy. And if you is out here looking crazy, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Realistically, I don't know what to tell you, because you got to get that together. You got to work that out. Because otherwise, you're dooming yourself to a lot of situations where it's just going to become very problematic for you. And you don't want that. You don't want that.
You don't.
Like, and more specifically, you don't need it.
No, you don't need it. And let me tell you, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Different strokes for different folks, as we know it. So it's gonna be some people hearing this. This message is gonna go in one ear out the other, or I tried that, didn't work for me. I'll do this instead. Right. Let me tell y'all something. As long as whatever you're doing
is working,
is healthy, and does not cause any harm or endangerment to you in any way, shape, or form,
or others,
I rock with it.
So be it.
And we ain't even got to go into examples because we all intelligent enough to know what was laid out by what I just said.
Right.
So if you got something going on,
right,
that's misaligned with those 3 key factors, then check yourself.
You know you got some work to do
before you wreck yourself.
You know you got some work to do.
You know you got some work to do.
And if you do, so be it.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with having work to do. We all are work in progress. I ain't met a perfect motherfucker yet.
Nope.
I ain't seen a perfect motherfucker on TV neither.
You probably won't.
You won't. Ain't no probably to it. You won't.
Most of the ones that try to be perfect on TV be the worst ones.
Don't be fooled.
No.
Ain't no motherfucker walking this earth, man, woman, cow, sheep, Billy Goat, Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
Perfect.
I can't with you. I just, wow. But
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes, indeed.
Remember that.
Yes, indeed.
So when y'all out here on y'all journey to facing y'all fears, don't be worried about how other people handle theirs.
Nope. Just however they deal with it is however they deal with it.
You can take their advice.
Yeah.
But remember, you are not them. At least take the advice, especially if it follows those 3 rules that I laid out.
Yeah. And
remember, just because you don't have the same outcome.
Difficult for no reason.
Yeah. Just because you don't have the same outcome.
Right.
Don't mean nothing. Don't beat yourself up.
Because maybe that's not meant for you.
Maybe it's not. Which means you might have to try something else. 1,000 ways to skin a cat.
That's fine.
Try another way.
Look, and that's perfectly fine.
Take another shot.
It's just and people do have a problem with that, but it's like, look, maybe it's just not meant for you. Maybe it's just not meant for you. That's okay. It's totally fine. Everything, look, I know we always say this phrase and people get mad about it because they feel some type of way about it when people say it. Everything ain't for you. Everything ain't for you.
Right.
You know, like, that's just the truth. Like, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, it's just what it is. Everything ain't for you. And if it is, okay, cool. That's great. That's wonderful. But that is not always the case.
Was it Kelly Clarkson who said it's okay not to be okay? One of them women said it.
Man, I'm about to Google that. Hold on.
I think it was Kelly Clarkson. I don't know.
Might be.
Somebody correct me. Y'all know this shit. I don't. But you know,
Kelly Clarkson's 40. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay not to be okay, but once we understand that we're not okay,
yes,
let's work
to be okay. That's definitely that's Kelly Clarkson.
Let's work. Let's put in some work, y'all. Control the controllables. Start with what you can control. Don't worry about things that you can't control.
Please,
that is out of your power. You are not God. Fall back.
And don't pretend. And the thing is, don't pretend to that. Don't put yourself in a position where you feel like you dang near got to be God in order to make it through something. Be content with being yourself. Be content with who you are, what you've been made to be. Be content with you being you and that being okay.
And look,
because sometimes that's the problem. Sometimes it's not so much you can't. Lord, boy. Look, sometimes you can't. It's not that you can't get okay. It's that you might already be okay.
I always tell people if you're having
but it's not good enough, rather.
Identity crisis. If you're having an issue with who you are, start with what you believe.
Yeah.
That's a good way to orient yourself into some kind of direction of who you are as a person. What are the things you care about?
That's most certainly a start.
What do you value?
Yeah.
Values and morals is where you find out who you really are.
Yeah.
What matters to you? What do you believe? And what do you value? That's where you start at.
The value system.
Yes. You got to know your morals and your values. You got to know those things. And they start with how do you believe, like what you believe,
Yes.
what you care about. That's the value system.
Right.
The value and the moral system. What matters to you, not just as an individual, but what matters to you for the sake of the people around you.
Yes.
Start with the ones you care about and then branch out to the rest of the world. You know, we live in a day and age where a lot of people love talking about much things don't affect them and don't matter because it ain't happening to them.
Yeah. It's the me, my, for, and no more.
I can think of a lot of especially hot button topics in the world right now.
Oh yeah.
That people have decided that
don't apply to them,
or they think it doesn't apply to you because it ain't about you. And the thing is that the world, remember when I said the world is simple?
Yeah.
Yeah, humans are complex, so we complicate it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a bar.
Humans make things difficult. We do. It's
that's where
life.
That's where the complexity comes in at. You have to figure out not just what matters to you, but what matters for the sake of others. Starting with those you love and branching out to the rest of the world. And then you'll start to learn some things about yourself.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Me, I'm very much so 2A, Second Amendment, right to bear arms. I rock with that. I have my reasons, but one of my most basic reasons is I feel that as an American, and I'm speaking as an American, I don't care how anybody feel about this, not as a black person, as an American. The people who are on this land have the right to bear arms. And if you don't know where that's rooted in, it's rooted in being able to defend yourself from others, but specifically from a tyranny government.
Yes.
Meaning if the government ever decided that they was going to be on some actual real fuck shit,
you can defend yourself accordingly.
You can defend yourself accordingly. And according to what? Well, let's see. Those motherfuckers will have weapons.
Yep.
So why shouldn't you? But we live in this day and age where we also deal with other imperfect humans that are not the government.
Yeah.
And they have the weapons too. So you best believe if little whatchamacallit got a motherfucking Uzi, if I want to have one, or if I want to have something else, that is my right, because I'd be damned if I let him murder me first.
Right? That's facts.
Okay?
I ain't mad at that.
But that's a prime example of,
let's see,
being direct and knowing where you stand at on a particular value that you have for something.
Right.
You figure out those things and decide what they matter to you. Those will help orient you on just who the person that you are.
Magic System said it would have to be starting to save up and getting my license finally. Yes. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, because that goes perfectly into something I was going to say, which is start off with a simple goal. You don't have to go hard. You don't have to, like most of us, again, humans complicate things. We have a habit of being like, okay, I got to do this, and this.
So this level to that level to that level.
Right. And you end up with a book of things that you got to take care of in an infinitely small and short and finite amount of time. No, pick one.
Too much.
Pick one.
Too much pressure.
Knock that out. And then once you knock that out, use that as your gas to get to the next thing. And then the next thing. And then the next thing, because those are milestones now.
And listen, keep that same energy.
Yes.
When one of the beautiful things about control the controllables, I'm glad you admitted that, Magic Systems.
Those
because
you know what
you just did? You know what you just did? You just held yourself accountable. Accountability, responsibility. That's the first step.
Accountability is important.
And then you went on to admit that you knew something that would aid in what it is that you're trying to do. And you decided to share with us. This is something that you know you can control, that you've shared with us. Now, when you tell people who care about you these kind of things, right? What you would hope to gain from that is that they steer you in a pathway that helps build on to the succession of that.
Mm-hmm.
You've held yourself accountable, which also means you've identified part of the problem. We learning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the biggest part, and this is part of like what Keontae was talking about earlier, once we've said it out loud, we've put it out in the atmosphere, we've gave it value,
Right.
we've established value. Now we have to do the work.
And that's the hard part.
And that's the hard part. But we complicate it. The work can be whatever we decide to do because we're the ones doing the action.
Yes.
So how complicated does your work have to be? You decide that too.
Yeah.
As NeRo said earlier, make it simple. It does not have to be X, Y, Z, Q, R, and A.
No,
No,
it really doesn't.
it doesn't. As long as it takes you from 0 to at least 1%,
Yeah.
and you keep repeating that, it does not matter.
No.
Progression is the key. It's about the journey. The only thing you should be focused on is the journey and the outcome. The outcome is what we want. The journey is how we get there. How we get there can be as simple or as complicated as we choose to make it. So as long as we understand that it is our responsibility to do that work,
Yes.
and we are accountable if it does not get done.
Yes. Agreed.
So are you going to make it hard on you or are you going to make it easy on you?
And that's the whole thing. Is like, look, make it easy for yourself at certain points. That's okay. It is okay. It's not a way out. It's not something that's going to be like, oh, well, you're just trying to fake it till you. No. Make it easy for yourself because these things affect who? They affect you. They affect you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's going to sit there and be mad at you or whatever, or have a problem with whatever it is you're doing. But at the end of the day, it's going to affect you. And they don't have to live with you. Whoever has an issue, whoever has a problem, they're not required, unless they are your child or your spouse, to live with you.
Right. But
you got to live with you.
Yeah. Look, I'm just like,
you got to live
I
with
was literally
you.
thinking the same thing. You got to live with yourself.
Yeah.
You want to walk around being guilty all the time? Because I'm going to tell you something. I'm one of those people, I don't do regrets. I don't do regrets. What happened, happened.
It causes problems.
Only thing I can do is work to orient myself in a way that leads to better outcomes than what happened in the past. I can't relish on that shit. I have to leave it be. It has to go.
Right.
That shit filed in my memory in the back.
It becomes
to the back.
Well, because it becomes too problematic. It becomes too problematic.
You made the mistake.
More issues than you need.
You've made the mistake. So what? Now what?
What do you do about it?
Right. What are you going to do about it?
And that's realistic. What are you going to do about it? What do you have in your wheelhouse or within your locus of control that you can do to fix it? What can you do to fix it? And it's okay if you don't have anything immediately. That's fine. That's fine. But you better work on getting to it, on figuring that out. Because if you don't, you're going to cause more issues for yourself. And that's not what you want. You don't need that. Look, life has enough issues. Okay? Life will spoon feed you issues whether you want them or not. Make certain that you have enough availability to deal with them.
Hey, Magic Systems, I got another question for you since you're being open with us.
We appreciate it, by the way.
Yes, we do.
We really do.
Honesty is the best policy.
Absolutely.
Where do you want to go? Where you leaving to? Where you trying to go? I'm just curious.
Hey, I mean, if you got a plan,
What's your destination?
yeah. Yeah. And again, there's no judgments at all. We totally are understandable. We get it. Sometimes a change of scenery is necessary. Sometimes it's needed.
Yeah.
Sometimes a change of scenery is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Hmm. Right.
Sometimes that's it. But with that being said, what are your plans if you do so? Like, what's the big end game? Because if you have one, which I hope you do have it, if you have one, then that's great. Then you work on ways of optimizing that and actualizing it.
That's why we do videos also about things like productivity and stuff like that.
Right.
Sidebar. We try to be a podcast that talks about things that are current, with the culture and stuff, while also giving you guys practical things. Because I feel like there's an overabundance. It's saturated right now with just reactions and whatever's popping at the moment. But sometimes we like to give what we feel are more valuable tidbits about, life and living and stuff.
There's a little something. A little something.
That's why, we can have a podcast where we talk about productivity, for example. We can have podcasts about productivity. We can have podcasts about organization and things like that, because they can correlate alongside and complement these kind of conversations.
Right. Something that actually matters.
Yeah. So, like, for example, if you watched any of the streams about productivity or organization, you might have been able to get some tidbits from those podcasts that would then turn around and help you in formulating a system that gets you from goal A to goal B, right? Like we just talked about productivity a few weeks ago, and we shared some different tips about organizing and time management, and we've done those kind of things. You can take some of the tidbits from those previous podcasts, and I might even hyperlink them in this one, to help you build a structure, a system that gets you from Indiana to wherever you want to go, magic system, or for anyone else for that matter. Since you're sharing stuff, I just used you. But you said you don't know. Somewhere with better weather because of my physical body not tolerating cold well. Okay,
that makes sense.
Cool. You got a health reason. You got a life reason, right there.
That's a valid reason.
That's a necessity.
Now, the big thing you have to do with that is now you have to look at things like cost of living, other things like the availability of housing, because housing is trash right now. Not even gonna cap about it. It is. It's terrible. These are things that you now have. You now have homework.
Yep.
These are things that you need to learn to figure out how to approach. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to do what you need to do? Where you're going to go? Do you have family that lives in any of these areas that could be prospective for you? Do you have any connections or any sort of resources? Even look into the resources that are available in whatever place you choose to go to.
Right.
Those usually are accessible, like online and things like that. You usually are able to reasonably look into stuff like that, just like how you do here on Indiana. If you look into like Indiana resources, like Echo, Aurora, things like that help with housing, there are resources that help out with housing and availability of homes and things like that. And in game would be in disability home income housing and to be near a pharmacy. Yeah. So you're looking at locations whenever you're talking about being close to businesses and things. You have to look at the residential areas that are near there. What is, the crime rate around there? What is the average cost of housing there? Is there any assistance for what your specific condition is? Because sometimes for certain physical and mental disabilities, there are certain accommodations that you can get. There are certain, maybe tax breaks or cuts and things like that. It's a lot to it. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you at once, but if you're wanting to move on, you want to move on but by putting your best foot forward. Because let's be honest, it's hard as hell getting a place here right now. Going anywhere else is going to be that plus some. So you have to make certain that you're prepared and that you're ready. I don't want to tell you, yeah, by all means, get the hell out of here. Go do what you got to do. And not tell you that, there are some hurdles you're going to have to jump through. You might end up being on a wait list. If you figure in with housing wait lists, they take forever. So if you figure out a place you want to go and you ain't going to make it there in another 6 months, go get on a wait list. That way, when you're ready to go, it might be your time. You may not have long to wait. If 6 months, 6 or 9 months go down, because like there was actually a wait list on Aurora that a bunch of names just got pulled this July. So, a couple people who've been on that thing for like 9 months just got their availability to start seeking housing. 9 months. That's 9 months. Some of them even a year, Consider your options. You know what I'm saying?
I like to break things down by once I get out of like the daily task and things I have to do, I like to break things down by months and quarters. Because when was the last time, and this is for everybody, when was the last time y'all worked? This is not your job, by the way. So don't use your job as an example, but think about this for a second. When was the last time you worked consistently hard, or at least medium effort on something for 30 days straight?
Dog, it's been a minute. I ain't even gonna cap. It's been a minute.
Right? Think about that.
It's been a good minute.
Now, what if that was what if whatever the outcome was such a very small or simple outcome? What if the goal was to, by the end of the month, walk 100,000 steps in a month?
That sounds legit.
Divide it up by the day, and that'll be your daily goal.
Yeah.
If you consistently do that every day, then by day 30, you should meet that goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All we have to do is break these big ideas that we have down to small to-dos.
And it makes it easier.
It makes it easier, and it makes us realize that, hey, this stuff doesn't happen overnight.
No.
But it's so simple that by the time
that you can make it happen.
Yeah, that you not only can you make it happen, but by the time the next day comes, by the time overnight happens,
right,
you would have went through so much less stress to get it done than if you try to do it in one night.
Right.
It still took time. You will never, you can never divorce time.
No.
Time waits for no man. So once you get over the time aspect, that's just a rule of reality.
That time ain't really worried about your feelings.
That's a rationale that you have to come to.
Right.
If any of your fears or anything are rooted or have an element of time in them, you need to nullify those.
Yeah.
Because time is something that is not in your control in the general sense.
Right.
I had to learn that the hard way, which is why I'm a lot more patient of a person than I used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Patience and time will really fuck your ass up in that way that it will humble you to understand that that's a faculty of reality, that despite your best efforts, you will never be able to control at the speed that you deem satisfactory.
No.
That doesn't mean you can't make something happen fast, but it'll never be as fast as you want it to.
No, never.
Ever.
Never. And I mean, that's just the truth. You're never going to end up in a situation that is perfectly ideal. And that's totally okay. But it is something that you do have to understand. You're just not going to have things that are perfectly ideal. Like, Does that mean you should give up on whatever it is you want to do? Absolutely not.
No, never give up.
You just know not to look for the ideal situation. And you know that, some things are going to be difficult.
And try different things. You got to experiment.
Yeah.
Till you find the thing that works for you, you need to keep trying.
Don't quit.
Failure is not a reason to stop.
Nope.
Failure is just confirmation to keep going.
Failure is a speed bump. Failure is the speed bump. That's a quotable.
And we don't stop at speed bumps.
No.
We keep going.
It might slow you down. It might make you think about what your next action is.
Could even be jarring, right?
But then you understand that that's what it's for.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do.
That's what it's there for.
And what you're supposed to do is get over it.
Yep.
Literally
because
and
it don't
figuratively.
matter how fast you go to get over it. All that matters is that you get over it.
And just like a speed bump, if you're going too fast, what happens when you go too fast on a speed bump?
You're going to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to feel it.
Take your time. You'll get there when you're supposed to get there, and it'll be a lot less stressful.
I like how you just said that because it's true.
It'll be a lot less
stressful. You will get
stressful.
there when you are supposed to get there.
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Because you also get there in a favorable manner.
Right.
It ain't that stressful. It's easy going.
You
It ain't even
get
gonna feel
there.
like it ain't even gonna feel like hard work because you put it in so much little effort.
Right.
It may trick you into thinking you're not really doing much, but
right.
you're seeing progress. Progress is an indicator that you're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's not that the fact that you ain't there yet, it's the fact that you're going to get there.
And it's the fact that you're still further ahead than you were
the day before.
Yes.
How we say, you ought to want to be better than you was yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
That's the only expectation you should have.
You know what?
Be better than you was yesterday.
I actually had to give somebody this piece of advice, which was, I was like, because he was worried about the situation he's in and like how somebody brought up something that was messed up and questionable about his current situation. And it kind of knocked him off his game and messed him up, made him real frustrated and made him mad. I understood. And I'm like, look, man, I was like, here's the thing. No matter what, look at the reaction that people had. Look at the room. Look at who said what. Look at who's thinking what. What's the difference between this time when something crazy got brought up and last time? And I was like, you notice what happened last time. If this was how it was last time, they'd have ripped you apart without a question. In this case, no one did. If anything, they looked at the other person strange who even bothered to say it. That speaks volumes. You have to understand what's going on around you as well. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like, if you get an understanding of where you stand in your situation, even if it's something you're afraid of, even if it's something that you're worried is going to mess you up or destroy you or take you out, as long as you have an understanding of where you stand, you know where you can get to. You reasonably know where you can get to. You may not be perfect. It may not be ideal. But if it damn sure will be better than what it was. And, we've been on here about an hour. We're not going to get way too deep into this. We're also going to have the pod coming. So you can have kind of a short form version of this.
Yep.
But for those who are new, for those who don't know, what we usually do, what we bout, we are the Black in a Minute podcast. We speak on various issues and topics, usually ones that do specifically affect the Black community, but we are not limited to topics that affect people as a whole.
Correct.
This certainly being one of them. One of the biggest things that we are about is really just sparking discussion, sparking conversation. What's good? The Kikis have entered the chat.
Man, y'all late on this one.
It's okay.
But that's okay, though.
We still appreciate it. We appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you for dropping in.
And while I'm talking, because I have been kind of stalling for time, y'all notice me messing on the computer. I got a surprise for y'all.
Uh-oh. I don't know what NeRo talking about here. Or do I? Let's see what he up to.
I'm gonna show y'all in here in a second. But our purpose here is really just to really start dialogues. You know what I mean?
Fashionably late.
Fashionably late. Yes.
I like how they messages came at the same damn time too.
Bro, that's
synchronized
inception.
swimmers,
That's
aren't you?
inception.
No, I ain't even about to. That CPT boy. Yeah, you're bad with all 8 of them damn eyes, or 6, however many it is.
All them eyes though. It's all the eyes, G. You look, y'all know what time we start. But
By
it's
a vowel.
okay though. It's okay though. Y'all OGs, so we let it slide. You know I'm deep with these little things, so but I'm gonna show y'all this.
Before we head out, NeRo got something to share. I think I know what it is, but for real, Loki don't know. So
right.
We're gonna see.
I'm gonna see which
I'm
one
smart, so maybe I do know, but I don't know.
You might.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, that's cool. It can be that. Let's see. We should be good. Boink. What you guys are going to be looking at, we're going to go ahead and share it to. We're going to generate it. While it's generating. But seriously, we are here to answer the hard questions. Not only to answer the hard questions, but also ask them, propose them, have them propose to us, so we can sit down and have a whole dialogue. We can really just get into it, get knee deep, and just talk about it. Because these are things that me and my brother over here talk about on the daily.
Facts.
We talk about different stuff on the regular. We just do it. You know, it's what we do. So these are things that we're always concerned about. And the funny thing is, I always say some of these little quotables and things in these phrases, and sometimes I utilize this time to come up with things to even say to my clients and people that, you know, I deal with. And the surprise is here. Let me go ahead and see if I can hook this up. One good second. Let me see. What you're about to see right now. Look at this. Fresh off the press. And there will be more added to these, but I figured we'd start with this.
Uh-oh.
This is the Phrases and Quotables series.
Uh-oh.
And you see what it says.
Uh-oh.
Control the controllables. Yes.
Uh-oh. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
Look at that shirt.
Look. And on the back, you got the logo. On the back, you got the logo. You know, just so they know where you got it from. Just big enough for you. That way you know where you got it from. We got stickers too. Look at this.
Check it out.
Look at that.
Check it out.
Ain't that hard?
Check it out.
And for the Xbox users, if y'all really want one, I'll make one.
As Thanos would say.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
We got bag. We got tote bag. And it's got look, and it's got the Black in a Minute on the back.
It's over 9,000!
Look at that. Look at that fresh it is. I told y'all. No, it says out of stock. That kind of hurts. We just started. Don't do that.
Javar says, still don't see the leggings for the women. Man, we got to figure that out. Because like I said,
that is hard to burn on the leggings, bro. Like I think we might try to do some leggings with this phrase on it. I don't know.
Listen, hey, boy.
Control the controllables.
Hey, boy. Boy. Look, I had that same thought as you were saying, and I was just like,
We do have a crop hoodie.
Hmm.
We got crop hoodie.
That might be one.
Hey.
And I thought that might be one, bro.
Hey. With the little thing in the bag. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
But y'all stay tuned because
Those only go up to
if you missed out on the Juneteenth 4th of July sale,
yeah.
well, first of all, shame on you. It was like a week and a half between Juneteenth and
It was most certainly good.
and 4th of July.
We got Racerback Tank.
The next sale will be coming soon. I won't give out exact dates until the date of, but if you've been following Black in a Minute for a minute, you know that we use a certain pattern, so to speak, of when things going to sell around here.
Pretty much. Juneteenth is always guaranteed.
Stay in tuned.
New merch. Yes. New merchandise. Yes. You gotta love it. I'm having too much fun. Let me chill. We have merch. Anyway,
listen, yo.
And we will need some taste testers for these.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Facts on that. Facts on that. Let me throw that website up there real quick.
With that being said, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and post this little link to this specific set on the chat. That is actually the specific link to that. Y'all can go ahead and click that.
And it will be pinned to the top.
Y'all can go ahead and click that. Yes, Javar said you cutting into my WWE merch money. Said, damn it, look, don't blame that on us. You got kids. They cutting into your merch money. Like,
hey, hold up. See,
the babies take everything, bro.
See,
I got nieces and nephews, and they definitely cut into my free time money, okay? Because they always want to eat. And they always want to go somewhere, and they always want to get something. So, yeah.
Lord.
Dude. There are other things that cut into them expenses, sir. It ain't just us. It ain't just us. But do y'all dig that, though? Do y'all dig that as a concept?
Yes.
I ain't gonna cap. I kind of made them just because I want one. But, like, that's sad. But, like, I want to rock that. I'm gonna wear it to work or something. But I figured, look, that's something y'all can wear to work. You know what I mean? It's not extremely explicit. It ain't got no cuss words in it. It ain't got nothing to where white people are gonna be scared to look at you. It just says control the controllables. It don't matter what they think it means.
Sure don't.
It will make them think, though. And then when they actually decide to come up to you, which they might, and come up and ask you, hey, man, where you get that from? Let them know. Let them know.
Yep.
Let them know.
Let them know. Especially if you get any of the QR merchandise. That's the ones with the code on it.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be editing those, too, to optimize those a little bit.
Pop those up real quick.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get it.
But for those of y'all who missed it, we talked about fear. As you know, you can always go back and rewatch any of these streams, but also there will be a bite-sized version of this conversation called the Audio Pod.
Mm-hmm.
It's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. It's usually 30 minutes or less.
30 minutes
of the same conversations we have. That less is minus, of course, the commentary from us on the side, minus the shameless plugs, minus you guys' the audience's input.
Yes.
And usually there's no video as well. But if you're on your way to work, if you're working out, exercising, if you're just around the house cleaning up, you can always pop that bad boy on. Or if you missed the live stream, you can always pop that bad boy on.
Yes,
cuts to the chase.
Yes, indeed.
It's like the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Yeah. That's actually a valid point. Okay, yeah, and here are, of course, the QR code ones. I like this one. That one's honestly probably my favorite one.
Oh, the book bag is fire.
Well, that and the crop top hoodie, because I just want to see. I ain't gonna lie, I want to see a chick wear it. Like, if any of you ladies get the crop top hoodie with the QR code on it, just send us a picture.
Yes, send us a picture and because
we want to see some models.
Gentlemen, too. If anybody gets any of this QR specific merchandise with the QR code on it, tag us in a post on social media.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll help you out.
Hey, speaking of that, if any of y'all decide, because I know somebody's gonna do it, if any of y'all decide to do the little silhouette challenge or whatever, and you happen to be wearing the merch, you know, you just decide to wear that hoodie that day before you make the shish move, tag us. We're
foolish.
on TikTok.
We're
on TikTok.
Sure, we'll
Hey, look, you gotta jump on. Look, you gotta get while the getting's good. Okay,
yeah, you ain't lying.
You gotta jump on the stuff that exists, bro.
I ain't
Like,
mad at
okay,
it.
somebody gonna do it. Okay,
I ain't mad at it.
I ain't gonna lie, I seen them, and some of them did make me say sheesh. I ain't gonna cap about it. Shoot, I'm a man. I'm real about mine. Anyway, yeah, look how fresh this stuff is, man. We out here.
But yeah, you guys, in the description of the video,
yes,
there will be a link to our main page where you can follow us, stay up to date with everything, where you can get to the merch, where you can support us in other ways. If you don't want to buy apparel and water bottles, shame on you. But
we need donations.
Exactly. So we'll take regular money too as well. We'll take regular finances. We don't accept EBT. I'm sorry. This ain't good. But
I don't know. I might take EBT because a lot of grocery store stuff is kind of high.
Until you can do that shit online like Cash App.
Right.
Boy, if they ever made that difference.
Bro, just mail the card. Like, look, you can just mail the card. I'll send it back. Wouldn't that be wild? I'm only going to use like $100 on it anyway. Okay. You gonna get most of your money back. All right. I ain't got no kids. So, I donate all the dry lint. What you can do is you can collect all that dry lint and set it on fire in front of your lawn, sir. Anyway, look, Kiara Route 25 said, I will. Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Because we're here for you.
Facts.
We're gonna start making. I
don't like the way he said that, but facts. We are here for you. But
yeah, it's the slap happiness. Like we've been struggling with allergies and junk, and
it's terrible.
I get up entirely too early in the morning for like most of my days now.
You and me both, shoot. Oh.
But I get off earlier now. Sometimes I don't have a life, y'all. Like,
but shoot, y'all, we ain't we don't keep y'all too late.
Nope.
We've said all we can say,
and it's been said. We're going to say it again next week. I'm being dramatic. But, hey, we still have 7 people. Cool. But, yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
We love you all. I love you. Like, I'm just playing. I don't know sign language. But,
he do love y'all. He just got a funny way of showing it. I helped you.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds bad.
No, it don't.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Anyway, but this has been the Black in a Minute podcast. Also, be on the lookout for part 2 of the podcast audio episode. It will be out soon this week. When you ask, when I get done editing it. But
yep.
Probably tomorrow. I'm not even gonna cap to y'all. I'm kind of tired. So probably gonna be doing work notes until I pass out and go to sleep. But because we still have lives. Yeah. Paperwork is great.
No, it's not.
It's really not. It's terrible. I'm dying inside. But anyway. If you do feel like doing something fun, you can always go to Javar's house and help him collect dryer lint.
We got bottles.
Yeah, we got bottles. He has dryer lint, so I mean, pick your poison.
Foolish.
He started it. I don't want to hear it. I said what I said. Also, do know, even though this is going to bother him, but he'll be all right. Because he'll be saying the same thing in the next couple of months. In less than a week. Oh, please. The reason I'm doing this is exactly for this reason. In less than a week, we'll begin the start of the greatest season of the year, Leo season. And for those that don't know, my birthday is August 10th. And my Cash App and my PayPal
Hold on.
are
What?
both on the website.
Hey, hold up. This man,
I take checks.
Don't get him shit yet. Though he is right. If you hit the NeRo AnGeLo link, it'll take you to where you need to go. But this man's birthday ain't happened yet. With that being said, though, y'all.
Yours ain't either.
Oh, I ain't said nothing about my birthday. With this being said, though, y'all.
It's Leo season.
It's coming up. We're going to have a conversation.
Let's go.
Since he said that, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the Zodiacs. We ain't touched on the Zodiacs yet. We're going to have a conversation about the Zodiacs. So find all your little friends, your little Capricorns, your Geminis, your Cancers, wherever you exist.
Oh, Jesus.
Your Sagittarius.
Well, we got one Sagittarius on here, and we got a couple Scorpios.
We got a little bit of everything, but find all your little friends, your Aries, your Geminis, whoever the hell I didn't say.
Try your best.
I forgot some of y'all. Your Virgos, find them.
Some of y'all.
We'll have a conversation about the Zodiac shit because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand.
No, don't be judgmental. Wow, Geminis run the world. No. You missed an I, sir. Geminis ruin the world because y'all are crazy.
But
y'all be flipping too much. Y'all be doing too much.
Yeah, find y'all
exactly two people in the same body. Y'all
crazy
confusion.
Find y'all people. Find y'all little friends. We need a representative. We need at least 2 representatives for every Zodiac.
Hey,
find them. We gonna get some people on here. We gonna try to get some people on too, because we ain't had nobody on the stream except in a minute. If we don't do it on a live in video form, we will do a green room. So stay tuned on that. That's coming in August.
Yeah.
We got a few more things we need to talk about before July ends.
AKA the greatest month of the year.
False. But still, we gonna talk about the Zodiacs because y'all love the Zodiacs.
You said
we're gonna talk about
quick.
Huh?
You said that a little quick.
Oh, bro. I mean, it's
self-evident. A little quick.
It's self-evident.
What do you mean self-evident?
August, the best month of the year.
I mean, the weather's nice.
Yeah. But yeah,
don't you start, Javar.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it.
Collect your lint, sir. Why you talking?
But
y'all gonna let me live. I don't care.
But daughter, we gonna quit playing now. But
I'm hoping I get that whole week off too.
Sir?
Probably not, but I'm hoping I get that week off.
Hopefully you do.
I'll at least get the day off. I ain't showing up on my birthday. I'm sorry.
I think everybody should take their birthday off.
I think we automatically get it. It was true. That's why he said it with no hesitation. Don't you start. Because he don't like your month either. So
who said that?
Kiki.
I mean, she's not wrong though. So I mean, look, but I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there right now.
Oh, really?
I'm not even gonna go to into none of that.
Y'all gonna talk
now.
this crazy in front of the Buddha statue while I was looking at you?
No, I'm
with
not.
His 9 eyes.
I'm not even gonna get into all of that right now. But anyway, you guys,
he watching you.
We done held you long enough.
He watching you while you cap.
Why you trying to put the blame?
I mean,
on,
look
why
at
you
him.
trying to make people feel guilty?
Look at him,
sir. You supposed to be doing the outro, sir. Why you trying to make folks feel guilty? See how you do.
Man, nobody feel guilty. He said,
how Negroes do. How Negroes be when it ain't their birthday.
Javar, we had a whole hour of non-problematic content. And you pop up with that. See, I can't deal with you. Can't deal with you. Somebody ain't gonna like that. We're gonna get canceled. But hey, we got 8 people. Why we have 8 people? Ooh, somebody's on Twitch. Hey, there's always somebody on Twitch.
Shout out to the Twitch crew.
Shout out to the one person that always shows up on Twitch. We love you.
Yeah.
We don't even know who you are, but we love you.
You missed out, but definitely check out the audio podcast. It will be coming later on this week. It's a 30-minute or less version of what you missed out on today.
No, you brought him up. It had to be said. Dang. See, you choosing violence. See, Geminis. But always choosing violence. Why you so aggressive? Look, can you bring back the other one, like the nicer one? Do you have a nicer one?
Foolish.
Well, it's a valid question. I don't want to assume. They might both be mean. I don't know. I'm just messing. Anyway, I'm gonna post the anchor link just in case y'all didn't see that. That's got part 1 of the Fear series. Part 2 will be coming soon. So for context, you can listen to part 1 so you feel a little bit better. Yes, SMA's Gemini. There it is. There it is. There it is. The girls are fighting. Anyway, I'm gonna chill before y'all start fighting each other in the chat, even though I would enjoy watching that. But personally, this has been the Black in a Minute podcast, sponsored by the illustrious Twyman Art. I go by NeRo AnGeLo.
And I go by the DarksKing poet. That's DarksKing with a G on the end.
Because Scorpios are complex. Anyway, we wish you a great night. We hope that you have enjoyed this lovely banter that we have at the end, and also the serious topics that we do talk about.
Do you speak it?
See, now he's acting up. Now he's acting up. He know we about to leave. Sponsored by Air. Yes. Air.
1 hour later.
You messed up my pitch. Anyway,
Since you
look, sponsored by Air. Air. We breathe it or we die. Anyway, Air. Darth Vader needs it. Anyway, we do wish you a good night. We hope that you guys have enjoyed yourselves. We always not only want to start dialogues and discussions about very serious topics, but we also want to have fun as well.
True.
Because life is hard enough. Shit is annoying enough to deal with without being stressed out all the time. So we try to inject a little bit of fun. You know. Some folk be tripping sometimes. It's okay. We're gonna deal with that. It's okay.
I don't feel so good.
You know what? You know what? I don't want to hear all this static when your mom come up. That's cool. That's cool. Your time will come. It's all right. You'll be fine. But anyway, we want to wish you a lovely night, as we have for the last 3 times, because it's just a habit of mine. I want people to enjoy themselves. It's a Leo thing. But we are going to finally say peace out.
Power.
Yes, sir. This fist become Paul's real quick. Let's get it.